This video will explain how to translate British into proper American English, specific with respect to car talk. Many of us automotive fans have enjoyed shows like Top Gear, only to be often confused by words that show up in a different language, British. First, there are a few basic sounds that are a little bit different between the two languages. For example, the letter Z, Z. Their R's wander more than a shotgun wedding couple. For example, the R's disappear from words like car and Dodge Dart, car, Dodge Dart. But they move around to words where they don't belong, like America, America. They also delete thes. For example, when they crash, they don't go to the hospital, they go to hospital. But they send those unused items to California, who put it in front of terms like interstates. The 10, brah. California in turn sends their unused to Texas and Colorado. The first big difference between the two is the side of the road in which we drive. We drive on the right. Left. Left is the opposite of right. Wrong is also the opposite of right. As far as car parts go, we call this part of a car the trunk. Boot. This is a boot. And they measure their trunk in liters. We measure ours in dead hooker capacity, especially on a Cadillac. At the other end of a car is a hood. Bonnet. We shift a transmission or TRAN. You mean she-metals. It's called a gearbox. And a paddle shift TRAN is a FLAPPY paddle gearbox. When we're talking about a car's acceleration, we measure it in 0 to 60. They call it 0 to 60. But what's really strange is we both go to 60 miles an hour. A curse word to us, like when we get pulled over, might be damn it. BOLLOCKS, which is a word for balls, and that's what we would say to describe a car that has a lot of power. It's got balls. It goes like hell. Like the clappers. We might screw up a turn and go off the edge. They would call it cock it up or make a hash, which is a skillet-based breakfast dish for us. We do both call a cock to describe somebody who clogs up our highways with things like camper trailers, CARAVANS, or anyone who drives Japan's worst attack on us since Pearl Harbor, a Prius. Prize. After I shoot a web at your girlfriend, they'll have to pry us apart with a crowbar. Those cars and others that drive at or below the speed limit are what we call bullshit. Rubbish. A solid exhaust on our cars will make it sound throaty. Shouty. If we park our cars behind the bars in the seedy side of town, our cars might get stolen. Theirs will get nicked. Unfortunately, way too often, never from excessive speed, but way too often we might crash or wreck a vehicle. They would call that stuff a car. Like I stuffed your girlfriend last night. Our car payments are in dollars. Theirs are in pounds, which is what we use to describe the weight of the cars. But they probably get confused when we refer to money as bucks, quid, which I think is the key ingredient in calamari. And with that, you can also order a side of fries, which they call chips. Like potato chips? No, crisps. That sounds like the cereal you eat at breakfast before you put your pants on for the day, which they call trousers. A car can be difficult to keep in a straight line on a day that's windy, blowy, which is what your girlfriend gave you in the parking lot of the Hooters where she works. I think he's getting pissed. Or cross. That's the Jesus symbol, you heathen. I had a Pontiac GTO for a while, which they call a VAUXHALL MONARO. The vehicles over here preferred by our rapists, kidnappers, and murderers in general are what we call vans, and they call them people carriers, which kind of makes sense with our definition. People that mistakenly value practicality over performance in a vehicle drive what we might call a four-door sedan, but they call it a four-door saloon. That's a bar, a pub, where you drink a beer, a pint, which is what we drink when we celebrate the 4th of July. You, not so much. We call the Revolutionary War a win. They call it loss. Goodbye now. Cheers.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel below and let's celebrate turning fuel and air into adrenaline.